Hello, welcome back. Today's video is going to be a quick recap of my year as illustrated by my bullet journal. I have fit the whole year into this one journal. The notebook is the GLP Creations brand notebook called The Author, size A5 with Tomoe River paper inside, my favorite. So here we go. Let's begin with January. The big goal for January was to design the game that I wanted to build this year, and I did it. Got that done. I also tackled a number of healthy habits meant to support my energy levels, started making concept art for my game. I also did a lot of running and participated in a fitness challenge through my work, which involved eating a gross amount of vegetables. In February, I started to work on the core pieces of my game, like the main game environment and the grid system for placing units. I also did a lot of reading in February, mostly nonfiction, and I started preparing to do my business taxes, which are always an ordeal. I also had a little problem with work-life balance that I didn't see at the time, but it's pretty clear in retrospect looking at my journal entries. March was the beginning of the first slump of the year, so I just got so bogged down with everything. I did very little game work. That was the month that we cut Scribbles and started working to get her used to people, which took up a lot of time. And I also started playing Final Fantasy XIV, which I'm sure didn't help. In April, I tried to do some time tracking to get myself back into daily work on my game, but the tracking didn't really take. I did celebrate my 1-year anniversary of streaming on Twitch. My game development slump mostly continued, and I almost completely fell off the journaling wagon. It happens. May was a good month for productivity. Whatever I lost in March and April, I found it again in May. I was making sure to set one big important task for the day and really focus on doing that task, and I think that helped a lot. I also separated my habits by time of day, which I think helps just like with the flow of my daily routine. I started working on the creatures for my game, which is really fun, and I also started working on equipable gear for the player character, which is also really fun, and the fun I think helped me find that spark again. In June, I did my 30 Days of 3D challenge, where I made a 3D asset for my game every day. And I also increased my streaming schedule, so I was streaming 5 days a week instead of 3. And when I was streaming, I did the 3D game work first. It was a lot of fun, and I also really like the journal spreads I used for June. I just think they look great. They might be my favorite for the whole year. July was another really good month for game work. I think since I focused so much on visuals for June, I was excited to get back into the code for July. I got a lot of the AI system for combat done in July, and I really started to see a game taking shape. It started to feel like one cohesive system. In August, I set up my journal, and I really only used it for about half the month. I think this was the month where I either decided or I started to decide that I wanted to step away from focusing my YouTube channel on journaling and branch out a little bit. I did a lot more article writing for Medium and started to poke into music creation for my game. And looking back, it's obvious that I was looking for something different, though I don't think I realized that at the time. I think that subconscious feeling got stronger in September because I set goals for all kinds of things. I started to move away from my plan of focusing on my game, and I was looking at different platforms, different media. I had some writing goals, some YouTube goals. I wanted to start working on my next Skillshare course. I was all over the place. I also realized that I had to refactor my server code, and that was really challenging. And so I think I kept making excuses not to work on it, but I still did get a bit done in September. In October, I tried to refocus a little bit. I had a few game development goals, and I tried to prioritize them over my other goals with some time tracking that I apparently never filled in. I also ran my first ever 10K in October and decided that I was going to do NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writing Month, in November, and I also decided that I was going to paint my entire house, and so that took some of my attention away from the game work. In November, I did NaNoWriMo, and I won it. Tyler was gone for most of October and the entire month of November, so my daily routine got shaken up at first, and then it got more consistent than it has ever been because it was just me and the pets. I didn't have to factor Tyler and his schedule into anything I was doing. But because I was doing NaNoWriMo and painting, I did not do any game work at all during November because all of my time was spent either painting or writing. The house looks great though, and the writing I did, I feel pretty good about. I don't hate what I ended up with like I did last year. And finally, we are here at December. December is obviously still happening. So far, I've done a huge amount of knitting. I got back into spinning yarn a little bit. I've also gotten reacquainted with my game, but I haven't put a ton of work into it so far. December is always a slow, reflective month for me, and I don't expect this December to be any different, but I am publishing videos every day, so that is something that is quite different. It's eaten up a lot of time, but it's been really fun, and it's allowed me to try a lot of things that I made up reasons not to try before with my channel. So it's been kind of a wild, experimental December, and it's been really exciting. I have big plans for the next week and a half of the year. I'll be off work starting on the 22nd, so a couple days from when I'm recording this, and that will be my time to dive headfirst into my planning, get some game work done, finish up my craft projects. I'm feeling really good about that time off. So here we are. That was my journal and the journey that it recorded all the way from January 1st to now. And that's all for today, so I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see how I'm setting up for 2022, because those videos are going to start up in earnest very soon. We're really going to get into it. In the comments, let me know one thing from this year that you're most proud of or most happy that you did. Thank you so much for watching. I will be back tomorrow, and I hope to see you there. Bye, bye, bye.